All righty. And we are back. That's right. We had a little week off. Things were going on in real life. We're back to our real life of And Just Like That, the after show here on JLJ Media. I'm one of your hosts, James Lott Jr. And Pretty in Pink, one of my favorite movies, of course, but also she is Miss Emily May. Hi, Emily May.
Hi, hey. I was just talking about this podcast today. I was putting it over. I was telling everyone that you all should watch it because we talk about it. And I feel like we are like the best official And Just Like That after show, breaking it down, you know? We talk about real stuff. And I was talking about some of these things that were going on in this episode and with some friends. I was like really talking about it. So, and I've been rewatching. So I like have been super emotional about these episodes.
I love it. No, I love those hours with you. So, and I want to tell everybody at home, our numbers are going up this season. So thank you so much that you guys are watching us. So like you said, tell your friends. They have, there's no other, I haven't found any other And Just Like That after shows really out there on the video side. So check us out. We're real people. We talk about it. Right, Emily? We talk about it.
Yes, we talk about it. But yeah, we talk about it. We get into it. Yes. Talk about all the juicy details.
Yes. Yes, we do. We do. So thank you guys because I saw the numbers. We're getting bigger and bigger. So thank you. Just continue watching us. We really appreciate it. We're going to talk about episodes 7 and 8. So if you guys didn't watch 7 since last week, we understand. Well, you'll easily, we know it's one big storyline. And the main storyline we're going to talk about is the main storyline we're going to talk about, of course, first. And everybody's talking about, we got to talk about this because I have I'm scared. I'm scared, Emily. I'm scared. And I want to start this off. This is another podcast person who doesn't do this show as a podcast, but watch the show, said a statement that I believe, and Emily May, I wonder how you feel about this. She said, Carrie is Aiden's big.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's true. When she said it, it clicked for me.
I don't know, but with what Carrie said at the end of this the episode this week, I don't know.
Because she said after the end of last week's.
Yeah.
And I thought, ooh, that is very, okay, so
it's interesting. I mean, because they both, like, Carrie and Big had that chemistry that they couldn't deny, right? Like this, like after rewatching everything, I was like, oh, there is that like undeniable chemistry. But like Aiden was like the safe choice.
Yes.
Back then. And they tried it twice and it didn't work. So
but Emily, think about it this way. This is how I connect it.
Break it down.
The first 5 seasons or 6 seasons of the show was all about Carrie and Big breaking up, getting back together, breaking up.
Mm-hmm. It was like the bouncing back and forth all the time.
Yes,
yeah.
But a lot of it was on Big's part, remember? A lot of it was his fault.
But Carrie also was so mercurial. I was rewatching it and she was like up and down and hot and cold. And I was like, first of all, it wasn't all Big's fault. Carrie was a total participant in the chaos of that relationship.
She was.
Like, let's not just be, I can't say Carrie Bradshaw was completely innocent in this.
No, you're really
and my relationship with the show and my relationship with Carrie, the character, has evolved. I feel like 10 years ago, I would not have said that. I would have said something totally different. But now rewatching it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, they were both horrible. They were both horrible back then.
No, it's true. It's true. But my point. I feel like Carrie is still always drawn to Big. Whenever they reunited, they saw each other at a time apart. They always had baggage. Every time they came back together, they always had baggage. Sorry, 1 second. Dolores says, wait, you're at the official podcast? How rude. I thought you were. Okay, you are. No one else better. Thank you, Dolores.
Thank you, Dolores. We are the official, unofficial podcast of And Just Like That.
Oh my God, that's funny. But no, so I was thinking about Aiden because she was horrible to Aiden. She was.
Looking back, I was like, Carrie, you had this man that was completely enthralled with you, would go head over heels in love with you, would do anything like make your floors, tear down your wall in your apartment to make this huge apartment for you, which is funny that Big made a bigger closet. That like was weird later. But it's like she never let him in because she had this thing and that was Big. And I just couldn't, she treated Aiden so poorly. Watching back some of those episodes, I was like, I can't believe like Aiden had to, like when looking back, like Aiden had to go through those breakups to obviously find some happiness.
Right.
But what a journey.
But Carrie was his, I think Carrie was his moth. It was his flame. He kept going back. He kept even that time when he met up, when he had the little baby, the first baby, I guess he was now 20, which makes sense at 20 years old. He only has 3 kids, 20, 17, 18.
Makes sense. Yeah, because I think the we only saw one baby in the show. And then, but now we find out that he has 3. Yeah.
About 20 years ago. So, I mean, he gave up some of himself though to accommodate Carrie, and still
he compromised so much.
He did, and so much. I'm like, so sit on that for a while. Maybe next episode, maybe you'll agree or not agree. Emily may, I don't know, but I'm like,
because I rewatched what's ironic is I rewatched the episode where Aiden and Carrie go to the cabin up in like North,
oh my God, it's
New York.
So funny.
And like in upstate New York. And I was like, oh my God, Carrie did not want to do this at all. And like, she wasn't truthful. Like if she was truthful from the beginning, like, hey, I'm not into nature. I'm a city girl. I don't do that. Then like I think it would have been, and the fact that she invited Big up there at one point, if I was Aiden, I would have been like, I'm out. Like he was so patient with her and just so like bottled it up inside. And it just, and rewatching their second breakup was heartbreaking. I was like,
oh, that was a hard one. Yeah.
Oh, and then the whole ring thing, I forgot. I knew.
No. Remember, you brought it up on the episode though. You brought it up on the episode. It was last.
That's true. I did bring it up, but I forgot how like emotional that made me. Watching that, I was like, oh, if I did that, that would have been bad. That's like bad. Yeah, because you remember. Oh man, and the fact that Aiden was so quiet about everything. Looking back, Aiden was so quiet. He was like complacent, didn't say anything. He just wanted to be with Carrie so badly that he just let things slide.
But yeah,
anyway, sorry, I'm going off. I'm
saying you brought up the ring thing around her neck. You said you would not go for that.
I did. Yeah.
You did say that.
Yeah.
So I was saying, just sit with that for a while and see if you come to that conclusion. I think it's true on some level. I just think it's true on some level. I think compared to the others, Berger wasn't that important. Petrovsky wasn't that important. If for her, it was Aiden and Big.
Yeah.
And for him, it was her and whoever his wife was. I think that's it.
Yeah. Do you feel like there are, because that there is that question that they ask during the show, and then I think is a theme throughout the movies and the series and this next series, is that they say that there are 2 great loves. And do you think these characters have them, or are there more?
Someone said, I actually watched another podcast, not about Sex and the City, about great loves, and this guy was like, "Oh, there's you can have many for different reasons.
Yeah,
there are times in your life." So I'm not sure. I don't know. I know for at least for me, I've had 2 great loves in my life. Mm-hmm. I know at the very least I've had 2 that I can, as I look back with wisdom, go, no, we were really in love, and it was and both actually ended in death. The reason why we're not together. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I have that thing. But I'm saying, but for me, when I look back on it, they were love. There are other ones I look back on, I go, I thought that was love, but that really, like it really wasn't. Or that was the love I could only give at 19 years old. Like there's certain ones I can look back and I go, not the love of, I thought they were love of my life. How when you're young, everything's dramatic. But there are 2 for sure I know that I was like, yeah, they were exactly the loves of my life for sure, and hold a place each that's very strong. So I know for Carrie, they both did. And one of the most realist moments that I think Carrie had was walking Miranda and questioning Big.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge statement.
Yes.
That Carrie made, that the show is making.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that have always been Team Aiden. Like they haven't been Team Big. And they've always pushed the Big character as like Carrie's big love. And I think this show is really trying to question that, whether it is a true love or not. Like it could be a true love, but maybe not the true love that is supposed to be her time right now, like it's interesting that like Aiden obviously is divorced now, Carrie is obviously, it's been more than a year of mourning, big, John. And, it's like, I know that a lot of like, I've had friends and family members that have had their spouses that they were married for a really long time, together for a long time. They unfortunately pass. And it is a good sign. They say it's a good sign that when you jump into a long-term relationship pretty quickly right after, that it means you were very much in love. You need that companionship. But what's interesting about this new like Aiden Carrie dynamic is like she's so open about how she's said in the kitchen like, oh, it was a mistake. And she never said that in the series. She never actually like copped up and said, hey, I was really a horrible person. I wasn't in the right place. I made a mistake with Big, cheating on you, doing this, acting, wild. And I like how she's grown. Like this actually shows her character has grown. I loved the moment where like there's nothing in the apartment, in Che's apartment, because they're Airbnb-ing it out. And I love how it felt like they were moving in together, like for the first time again. They were like getting the pepper grinder and like they wanted a cutting board, and it felt new and fresh again, but also very familiar at the same time. And it kind of was like, oh, what broke my heart about these episodes is that she could have, and I think that's what was going through Carrie's head, is like she could have had this love all along if she was just smarter about her actions. So that's what was like in the back of my head watching these two episodes, was like, oh, and it makes you think about your own mistakes and like the questions and actions and like what you do in relationships. Like, how far do you go to like help save it? And then, can you ever go back to that person?
Yeah. So for me,
not to get all so philosophical and stuff, but
I love it. For me, going back to the episode 7, at the end of the episode, we'll get to the meeting. I was about the meeting too, is very good. But just to piggyback off of you, that at the end, he's like, "You still live here?"
Oh,
and for me, oof, her life flashed before my eyes. I was like, I'm thinking of all the things, and he goes, and the apartment and the wall, like. Oof. And he's like, I can't go. He goes, I can't go in there.
No.
Like, oh my God.
I never even thought about that. Like how traumatic and so much baggage he was holding on. I mean, he was probably fine up to that point, right? Like it seemed like they were fine. They seemed to be back to normal, but then, back to as if no time had passed. But seeing that apartment and the stoop and all of the baggage and memories that are in that room and in that apartment, all the fights, all of that, and all the good times too. Like it wasn't all awful, but I can't imagine going back. Like, I don't know if you feel this way, if you ever go back to like, I know not everyone still has family that's in their family home, right? But if you do get a chance to go back and you see like old things or like good and bad memories, right? You go to places and they stir up memories. I can't imagine what he was feeling. Like it just is I don't blame him. They need a fresh start.
Here's where I'm scared, Emily.
Okay. Tell me.
So between these
two, do you think she's going to do the thing she did with Big, where she's like, "I'm keeping my apartment"?
Well, you saw the preview, right, for next week. She's talking about possibly selling it. My problem is, why I'm scared, is that while she's just happy and she feels free and the best orgasm of her life, which she told everybody.
She did talk about that.
That's why that. He looks good. First of all, he does look good.
Can we talk about that? I was like, damn.
When she turned around and he was standing there, I was like, now see, I remember him. I don't know how far back you go. I remember from Northern Exposure. That was a show I used to love. That's when he first came out. That was 100 years ago, kids. And he looks the same.
He looks so good. And then like with his shirt off, I was like, dang, he looks so good.
Somebody's been working out.
This is going to be a good year for him because the actor has he has this, and he has the new Greek
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding, like the other movie coming out. So he's having a great year.
Yeah, he looked good. I was like, no, he looked good. She's right, he looked good. But when she was at that restaurant and he was showing up, I was like, oh no, did he do this to her? But I knew I was saying, but he have to meet up at some point because that's the whole point. We went to see Aiden, and it was the wrong restaurant. That's kind of
yeah.
But he looked good. I'm scared because I think they have to deal with that apartment. And when I mean by apartment, I mean the baggage. This all sounds great and wonderful. Right now it's the honeymoon phase, they call it, right? So
it's only like 3 days in.
Why did they say now it's been a month?
Yeah, a month. I mean,
yeah, it's like that.
I mean, do you think that Big, like with Big gone, obviously, was that the big obstacle, or is there more obstacles? And that's what I'm wondering.
Well, see, I thought Big was the big obstacle. I thought it was, but I don't think it is. I think that was one of them. But now that he's gone, I think it's that apartment. Well, or what that apartment represents.
Yeah, I think the apartment represents a part of her past. Like, she holds on to her past in so many ways, right? In her writing, in her podcasts, and all of that, in the stories she tells. And she's grown a lot. Carrie's grown a lot, but she still holds on to it. And you might be right that this, if she can't, because she couldn't even let that apartment go with Big. And she was with Big for 20 years, right?
Right.
So
I'm saying that apartment means something to her.
Yeah.
In relation to her men.
But I feel like she needs to, if she wants to move forward, and like she has to make a sacrifice. I feel like she lets everyone else make the sacrifice for her, and she doesn't compromise and sacrifice for relationships. I feel, watching back, I was like, there's so many moments where she's so selfish and so self-involved with what's going on. And no offense, but a lot of writers are like that. They're very much like, oh, it's all about me, because like that's what they write about, right? So when I'm rewatching it, I'm like, oh man. And even in some of some of the movies and like some of these episodes, I'm like, oh yeah, she still kind of has that it's about me kind of I mean, the story is about her, but I think there's this she kind of has to learn some selflessness, I think, to move on in the right way.
I can see that, but I think that apartment is part of that. I think, like you said, letting it go.
So you're scared that she's not going to be able to let it go and then not be like ruin it with Aiden, like go, Yeah.
I'm scared. I feel like she's going to his place. They're staying in an Airbnb. They're staying in a hotel. Like they're just avoiding the apartment altogether. It's like, that's where you live.
Well, what's interesting is she would do that with Big too. They do hotels, or they'd go into his place, like would not be at that apartment. Well, sometimes they would, but
but you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I thought before this came up, I thought it was just Big was in the way, and so I think Big's. I don't think Big's the obstacle now because he's dead. He's dead. He's gone. She's dealt with all of her feelings. She has her place for him. I actually believe that. I believe she has her place for him. He's good.
Yeah. I mean, you're always going to love him, and she's always going to love him and respect him and hold him closely. But like, I think obviously she needs to move on, I
mean, I just, again, when Aiden's talking about the farm and the chickens and the boys, and he's perfect.
Well, and what's interesting is he brought it up so easy. Like he was like, yeah, meet my boys. And Carrie didn't really have a doubt. Like that was the first time where I was like, oh, she's like, oh, I would love that. And it's like, oh, wow. Usually she would overthink it. And they did make the joke. They referenced the old, the old cabin that was falling apart with no power and no air and all that, which I found kind of funny. I like how they're doing those little throwbacks and those references, but I feel like she's kinder this time around because I feel like she's been through this heartbreak. So
it's about growth. Look at Miranda. Look at the talk. When they were having the talk, Miranda in the old days be the one like, Charlotte was the one who's always perky or whatever. Simo was the one who's a little like,
Yes. Well, Simo's like the Samantha. Remember we talked about that?
But this
where
time
she's kind of the doubter of love and all that.
yeah, but she was kind of like, But Miranda was like, okay. But Miranda did just ask, but she asked in a nice way this time. Just like okay. She took a beat. I thought that's Miranda's growth because she's a mess right now. Because she has her own kind of, she's a mess. So she's not judging. It's like, I thought that is not like Miranda. That's just like a new Miranda.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Miranda is I've been watching Miranda's character recently, like going back, and she was so judgmental. Like, and even in these episodes this season, she's been judgmental. And I forgot how much she would lash out at the other friends in the circle. And I feel like in the most recent episodes, she's not as judgmental because she realizes, oh, people could judge me because I've made some bad decisions too. It's interesting. I feel like she's had a very interesting arc.
Well, how do you feel about this latest where she was like, from both episodes, am I a lesbian? What am I?
I mean, I think we've talked about that in like the beginning of this season. We were wondering, what was going on with Steve, and we were wondering what that journey of sexual identity is. Like, is it a reawakening? Is she exploring? Is she definitely a lesbian now? Is it, and watching past episodes recently, there's some episodes where she completely comes out and says like she's not. Right? In like season 4 and 3, 4, and 5, before she gets pregnant with Steve's baby, she definitely like had moments where she was exploring, and then like she says no. So that's why I'm like wondering what this means in these later episodes and on this show. Like, what is it trying to say?
I'm curious.
Like, is she, because she like hit mid, like, is it a midlife crisis? Is she bored? Is she frustrated and just like done with Steve and she just wants something new and different? Or is she really down that path? I know she was looking at like LGBTQ plus like sites and things like that. So I think, like, is she bisexual? Does she like both? Like, I think we're all wondering where this is, where it's going. And
she said out loud, she's not sure, she's confused.
And I think I think we're all confused.
You're right. Yeah, I think so, yes. On some level, yes.
On some level, right?
But it's so funny. She's working at the interning at the Human Rights campaign. And
love it. I love that for her.
Me too. She's like, I'm a middle-aged, confused, something, getting a divorce, middle of a divorce. And they were like, alrighty then. Trying to go to 2 interns. And how fast she's growing there too. But like I'm saying, you have 30 years of experience over these chicks. It's like you are older. Some of us older folks actually have life experience that does help. That I thought I've been in her position before. I've been in a position before where I'm against some younger people, and I'm like, but I've been around longer and I actually have experience. It's one of those, you don't want to rock the boat, but then it's like I said, why make yourself small now? Like, why are you doing that now?
I have to say, I have been in situations where I have more experience and I'm going in, but I'm trying to make friends. And you're trying to make friends and like have a cool work environment. And there's always those mean girls. That and I feel like it's so easy today. Like that moment where they're texting each other over like on a table where Miranda's there. Oh my God. It gave me like cold sweats. Because I was like, oh God, I've been there. I wasn't the one texting, but I've been there where I found out that people are, doing stuff. Because it's so easy to do that nowadays. It's not just like, oh, don't sit here at the lunch table.
It's funny. I'll briefly bring this up, but she and I both are ex-AfterBuzz TV alum, and I have no problem saying this because I've said before on the shows. There's a lot of hosts that came in and out of there. And I was always friendly. I was always a guy who came in. I was always like friendly, happy to be here. I said hi to everybody. And there were folks who literally would not say hi to me, who would just walk right by me. I say, hi, how are you? And just roll their eyes and keep on walking. And it happens to be many times after Buzz TV with some of these hosts. They're nowhere now. So I'm shady like that. But I mean, I mean, they were nice. I mean, I met you, Lowell. I think I met you there a couple of times, but like, you're friendly.
Yeah.
Your man, I knew more, and he was always nice to me.
Yeah. Oh wait, was I the one rolling my eyes? Like I walked by, and then I was like, "Ugh." No,
I was saying her, folks. Wasn't her. I think I saw you a couple times there, and you were nice to me. Like you never had anything to do, but I know your man, and he was always nice to me.
Yeah. See, I always worry because sometimes I worry about this. Like, I don't know if you ever do, but when I'm in work mode, I'm in a zone, right?
Yes.
Like I kind of get this like very serious face on where it looks like I'm mad at everyone, but I'm really just very focused and I'm in my zone. I'm like looking at my notes or I'm looking at my outline or whatever. And so sometimes I've gotten this note before where they're like, "Hey, we wanted to come up and say hi to you, but like you looked very serious, like you were in the zone," or not zone, but like it looked like you didn't want to be bothered. And I was like, "Oh no, always come up to me." But I just was like focused. So like I'm always in work mode sometimes, and sometimes like I just have to like block things out before I go on air.
I saw you afterwards. You always said hi to me. We never had any major conversations.
Yeah.
You're always funny to me. You always said hi.
Yeah, but I always worry about that sometimes when when I'm like working on site and I'm like in a studio. I'm like, "Oh, let me go do this," and I was like, "Oh, did I say hi to everyone?" I'm always doubting myself. I'm like, "Oh man, they think I'm horrible."
No, the problem for me is because there's so many hosts. Some did kind of blend together. Late after Buzz went out and I started meeting people, go, "Oh, James, oh my God, I remember you." And I'm like, "Was I nice to you?" I always say something. "Was I cool to you?" "Oh, you were great." I go, "What did I say?" You told me the funniest thing. I go, "What did I say to you?" They'll, "I'll remember." They'll tell me. I go, "Oh, okay." That's like something I would say. I mean, like I worry about what I say to people sometimes. I say crazy shit. So I'm like, "Did I say anything crazy?" Like, "Oh, you're so funny, James. You're fun." I'm like, okay.
Like as you know, Flobo is like one of my besties from AfterBuzz. I think he's probably not watching right now, but I know he watches our show.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, I have so many friends from AfterBuzz that I still talk to, and anyway.
I just want to say that I've been in places where, because I was a little older, maybe I didn't look a certain way, and they were so busy being clicky that they would not say hi, and so that reminded me of that too.
Yeah. I was like, "Ooh," I just went through that recently where literally I was in a room where people were I'm gonna say it because whatever. They you know when you walk into a room and someone like stops a conversation.
Yes.
So I literally walked into a conversation or walked into a room. They were making dinner reservations for their little group and we didn't get an invite, but I heard later like they planned this whole dinner. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Even though we were all in the same like work environment. Just saying. And I walked out and they were like trying to hang up the phone or like mute it. They were like, oh, hold on, we'll call you back. But like I knew they're like, "Oh, we were just like totally." Yeah.
Yes.
I've been there. Just be nice, everyone. Be nice.
Be nice, everybody. It's the point. You'll be nice to everybody. Shit.
Be nice.
But now, so Miranda, that's very interesting. But Miranda, we are watching this storyline arcs, and the one that's actually very interesting too is Charlotte.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the weight thing to come to her because she's not big, folks. I mean, she has little curves on her, but she's Hollywood. So, I mean, she's not big. She's not big.
No, she's not big, but I love.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
I mean, I would say, well, first of all, I'm super glad she's going back to work full time at an art gallery. I think this is awesome. It's a great thing for her to do. She can find herself again after kids. Her kids are older. Honestly, I think this is a normal thing for women to go through, where if you've always been skinny or thin, and obviously as you grow and she's had kids, your body changes, right? And you get older, your fat stores differently. It kind of lands in places you don't want it to, no matter how hard you work out or no matter what you eat.
It's true.
It's just going to be differently because your body was made to have babies, right? Your body was made to reproduce. And so for her, like, I think she's trying to get back to where obviously she was back in her 20s, but that's not going to happen. So I think she needs to embrace it. But I think it's something all women, go through. And, I think it's a normal thing. Her trying on all the shapewear and all that and Spanx and stuff. I was like, "Oh, I've been there." And some days you feel better about yourself, and
right,
other days
right.
you don't, where you're like, oh, I feel so confident. A lot of it's confidence. She
Yeah.
hasn't been in the workforce in a while, so she's nervous. She's a little scared. So I think that's added to the insecurities. But I feel like everyone's been there, you know?
Okay.
So
Well,
I think it's pretty normal, but I think she has to take all that stuff off though. She has to embrace it.
Yeah, no, you hit something on here that I want to piggyback off of and say that I know, like right now, I just started a weight loss journey. I'm calling it. Last week, I've lost 3 pounds so far, and
Amazing, congrats.
Flobo's take me to the gym, and I've been working out and stuff. And so,
I'll give Flobo some exercises for you to do. I'll kick your butt.
Yeah, I love it. But I was gonna say, men lose weight differently than women because you just said something that's very important.
Totally do. The metabolism works differently in your body.
And your shape,
and I'm not saying different. Men don't go through it too.
No. But it is but it is different. I think it is a little harder for you guys because you just said something. The way your bodies are shaped different than men are different than men. Very
100%. Yeah.
I give it to you. And I say I know for women it's a little harder. Men, I can belt off these first 10 pounds or so a little easier than a woman could, I think.
And so the metabolism works differently. You also, no matter how hard you work out, you can't, and I've learned this a lot, is no matter how many times you target an area, say you hate your stomach, say you hate your legs, right? Your thighs. You're like, my thighs are too big or whatever. You say horrible things in your head or out loud. We all do. No matter how much you target that area in the gym, it doesn't matter. Like it's also genetics. Of like how your body processes. If you look at your parents and you kind of live the same lifestyle, you can kind of be like, well, I'm gonna kind of look like my parents. And it's just life, right? So I learned lots of fitness coaches is that even though you target certain areas, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll lose weight there. So it's also a mental game too. Like you have to mentally kind of be in a good place and be confident and just kind of accept who you are. And so I feel like Charlotte needs to do that. Charlotte, I'm surprised, I love how Harry was like, you're beautiful. Harry's always so amazing to Charlotte.
Yes.
And I think she needs to listen a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even her kids were saying how great she looked.
Yeah.
And she just needs to embrace it. She's older. She looks amazing.
She does. Yeah.
And she just needs to be like, you know what? I'm a little bit older. Yeah. Maybe not as thin as I was, but they were very unhealthy. If you look at the show, I was like, they are so skinny, so unhealthy skinny, right? And now she has had kids. She's lived a life. It's something to be proud of, just like wrinkles on your face or smiles. You got to be proud of a little pounds, Yeah,
I think what's great is that, they had the 2 skinny chicks when she first walked in. And she felt super self-conscious. But then when she saw the larger woman come down, that's what she gave her confidence. Like, okay, I can be myself. She's keeping the Spanx. That's fine. We all keep up your hair, girl. It's fine.
Hey, I have some with me to fit in my dresses this weekend.
I have some. I have some male version of it too. So I have some of those too. So yes,
you have to. Sometimes it just gives you that little extra curve.
Yes, it does. Sometimes it does. And it is. And that dress, I want to mention that dress. The dress was so Charlotte.
So Charlotte.
It was so Charlotte. It was perfect. It was so
I love how she's like kept her style, but it's evolved a little bit. Yes. As she's gotten older, it's still classy. It's still very Park Avenue.
Yes, it is. And that girl, she's like, it's not your fault. You're 25. You'll understand one day. I thought it was kind of funny. We told her because it was like she was giving her looks and she was giving her looks. It was like, I guess that's what you do, I guess.
When I was 25, I was like 100 and I don't know, 10 pounds. I was so skinny. Really skinny. So, and I've gained some weight, but you just kind of embrace it.
Yes. So that was kind of cool. So I thought, okay, so we're watching her evolution. I'm glad she's going back to work. I'm curious to see how this actually works out. Like what kind of storyline it's going to fulfill. Like, will she be a famous person? Because you used to always have, art gallery showings and stuff. The girls would come to it. So I'm curious how it's going to play out for her. But the family was like, we're fine, girl. Go to work. We're fine.
Yeah, because they're going to party it up at home.
I know.
They're going to cause trouble. I know. I know those looks of teenagers.
Yes. Well,
not that I have teenagers, but
you were a teenager once.
I was a teenager once.
Here's the thing.
I was innocent. I never did anything bad.
Were you really?
I was so sweet.
We'll see that story. I wasn't innocent. I was bad. I'll just say that. It was the 80s. I thought I was bad. I had a lot of fun. Trust me. My older siblings got me in trouble all the time. It was their fault. We had a good time. And it'll be my book one day. No, I was looking at the preview. If this really does happen, it's your trip. Brady and Lily. I'm like, that's what I was in the previous show. Yeah, Carrie saying it's like our two stuffed animals are having sex. Like that would be a weird, like your kid and my kid, and that's
a weird. That's like that would be like my because they're pretty much sisters.
Right.
Like Carrie,
right.
Like all the ladies are sisters. So it's a weird. It would be. It's strange. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. So I thought that's interesting, but. So I guess you're doing that. We didn't see Naya this time, so we didn't have anything with her. But Anthony got a piece of a story. Well, both episodes we had two very big folks.
Got some big piece.
Oh my god! I was like, this. So here's the Sex in the City. Clearly,
very big piece. That was like the only sex.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, and Drew Barrymore drooling over it was hilarious. Oh my god,
I love Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore is like my hosting unicorn. Like she is my like idol when it comes to like talk show hosting. I never thought she would be so funny, but she's so real. And her face, she couldn't even get words out. It's so funny. Her little cameo was hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And Ross was there at the end. He came through. He was like, "Look at him, Ross, man."
Yeah,
buddy Ross.
Yeah. Ross was about to tackle. Him.
Yeah, he was. I'm like, in real life, Ross is happily married. He's good. But here's the thing. So in the second episode, though, it's revealed this poet that Charlotte found and made a hit. He's actually gay. And actually, I was like, did I see that coming? And actually, I don't think I did see like I didn't see that coming. I don't think. I was like, oh, kind of cool. He's straight and he works for Anthony. But they're giving Anthony a piece of a storyline and they end up making out. So I guess Anthony has a boyfriend now. I mean, I guess he's always going to have a boyfriend, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, everyone's moving on, you know?
They are. I guess it's kind of funny. But I was like, well, okay. So that's a little thing. Then he's kind of funny and he has that accent. He's really funny. So okay, I guess we'll see how that continues. I remember Stanford always had boyfriends and stuff, so I guess that's true. So that's somebody on there. So that was kind of fun. LW, don't think we major on her right now. I see next episode we get some stuff with her. Shay got a job, her old job. I love her boss. She's so New York. She's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, her and Shay are so and that turtle. My mother has turtles, so I was just like, oh my god, this is so funny. He's like, so he's waiting for his dog, but why is the turtle here? He's like,
yeah.
The dog. That's part of Sex and the City is kind of whimsical and stuff, but Che needs the money, which is very realistic. And Che, I like that Che and Carrie are still friends. I like that part, they're still friends.
Yeah.
But that boss, she makes, oh my gosh, she's hilarious. I love that whole, I want to spin off of that whole little series. I love it.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it was interesting how like it really was a very like they were very simple episodes. There wasn't a lot going on, but it was a really, I mean, I think this is going to be the focus moving forward. We have a few more episodes left.
Yeah.
Carrie and Aiden, I think figuring out what's going on with Miranda. I think we'll see Charlotte's kind of new job. I think you're right. I think she might meet someone at the gallery in the sense of like a big celebrity
or something.
Something. There has to be something more there. And then maybe something with the kids. Obviously, we see that there's something going on with the kids.
Yes. And then LW, then because he's going to run for comptroller, so something coming up with that.
Yeah.
We still have Naya out there because she's dating and stuff. Out there dating, so we have her. So yeah. So I mean, are we getting 12 episodes? That we're getting 10, 12? I can't remember. How many we're getting?
14? I gotta look. IMDb has all of them. So
okay, I'll have to look. But I know. So for right now, I'm look right now because I want to see it. I'm curious.
Is it 11? It's like it was a weird number.
Yeah, it's like because
the last time I checked,
Yeah, because it was, and just like that. Because it was one number once, and then it was
like that.
yeah.
Now when I'm rewatching the show, I
Yes.
hear Carrie say "and just like that" all the time. I
She
hear
says
her
all
say
the
it
time,
all the
right?
time now.
She says all the time.
Yeah.
It was always that.
And just like that, Miranda was blah blah blah.
Exactly. And her other one was like, I wonder. And so I read,
Yeah.
it's 11 episodes. So you're right, it's 11 episodes.
Okay, so we have 4 more.
So we have 3
4?
more.
3 more. Oh, because we just covered 7 and 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so funny. So you're right, 11. I know it's a weird number. So
yeah, because usually it's like 10, 12.
Yeah.
So
it's 11.
Do you think there's going to be like a special episode or documentary or like behind the scenes thing that they'll drop
for
12?
If we do, like last year, we'll cover it if they do.
Yeah. Because 11's an odd number, so I'm wondering if they'll drop a special something.
Yeah, we'll see that. But yeah, so August 24th is the last episode.
That's my birthday.
Is that really your birthday? Oh my God. That's so if we don't do the show on your birthday, I totally understand. I mean, like, I understand.
I was like, maybe we do like after my birthday.
That's fine. I
might be out partying with my Cosmos.
I know Cosmos so long. So that's really fun. Well, yeah, so I understand. If you can't do it on your birthday, I totally understand. We'll work it out. That is hilarious.
I'll be asleep by 8. That's what's gonna happen. I'll be like, snooze o'clock.
It's not a milestone birthday, is it? No, just a regular birthday.
It's somewhat of a milestone, I guess.
I'm not gonna ask her. I never ask what her age. I'm just curious if it's a milestone. It depends on the party.
Kind of a mid-milestone. It's not like a big O birthday, but it's like middle of the road.
Okay, got it.
So, but it's one that I think it's one Charlotte and Samantha and all that would freak out over a little bit.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good one. See, guys, that's a good one. Okay, good one.
Yeah, where they celebrate it over and over again. They always say that they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know. I think I know. I'll never say that. I'll never say that. I can't. Never ask one. You don't ask one. But I'm just curious, only because very clear, just that the amount of partying. If it's a milestone birthday, then you usually party.
Oh yeah, no, it's a napping birthday. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's a more methodical, like thoughtful birthday.
Okay, like that. I've had a few of those. I did. I understand that. It's so funny. So it makes sense. So you guys, we have 2 more episodes. One next week, one after that. So that 24th is actually the finale. So you guys get ready for that at home. You guys got up. You're an August baby too. Dolores says, "Happy birthday! Us August babies celebrate all month long."
Yeah. Are you like beginning of August, end of August? Because I'm a Virgo, so I'm end of August.
Dolores, when's your birthday?
Because she could be a Cancer. She could be a Cancer, Leo. Or a Leo. Yeah.
But because my brother's August 21st. He's on the cusp.
Ooh, well, no. Virgo starts on the 23rd. So yeah, he's on the cusp of Virgo and Leo. Yeah. I'm very Virgo. I'm like all Virgo all the way.
And see, I get along with Virgos. So I'm a Taurus. I get along with Virgos all the time.
That's why I'm like a Virgo. I surround myself with other Virgos. It's a very
really? Oh, how funny. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your man?
Capricorn.
That's still good.
January. So Virgos and Capricorns get along.
Yeah, I'm saying that's still good. Dolores says she's August 16th. So you're a Leo, but you're not far from her though. You're a Leo.
Ooh, okay.
You guys are a week apart, but like you're a Leo. Yeah. So like, but no, you did she made a post about it being your birthday month. Oh my God, you did say that on Twitter.
I did.
You did. She made a post.
I'm trying to come up with activities for my birthday. So if you have suggestions, let me know.
Yeah, Dolores. I'll put them underneath anybody watching this. You are watching right now, but anybody afterwards, put suggestions in the commentary.
It's like, give me some Sex in the City themed birthday activities.
That's funny, guys. Oh, they may come up with something really good though. So you never know. So put it in the comments.
They might give me like a cool themed drink or something.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Can make something.
Yeah, that's funny. But she did do a post about being her birthday month. You did do that. That's so funny. Yeah. You guys, so you August folks, so you guys do that, I guess. Of course. I love my best friends is August 9th. And I have, and my stepdad was August 23rd. So it'll be our first birthday. So but I love Virgo. Virgos are I get along great with Virgo. So we love that. Folks, thank you for watching us. Thanks for everything. And we'll be back next week, of course. Tell them where they can find you and all your goodness. And I know you're down in at SummerSlam doing some stuff there. But where can I find you? What's going on?
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social platforms at Emily Mayheller. I'm going to be covering SummerSlam all weekend, and I have tons of new content coming out and a bunch of interviews coming your way. So just follow me all over. It's Emily Mayheller on all platforms, and you'll get updates.
You get updates. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social platforms. And that is from my old friend, and you may have known her, Alexis Torres. And you can follow her at A Torres. I think it's 390 or 690, whatever. Alexis Torres was my engineer at AfterBuzz, and she used to always say that. She let me have it. So I used to say that. So a shout out to my AfterBuzz Pete, Alexis Torres. Everybody, please take care of yourselves. If you're somewhere hot, please stay hydrated. Please, please, please. Water is your